What a move by Howie Roseman! Whoa! Yo, everybody, how you doing? King Dingbat here. So, it's been a crazy day for me. My kids are sick. I have both kids sick. Kids sick yesterday, kids sick today. They both had doctor's appointment. 2 different doctors, 2 different times, 2 different places. Riding around looked like crazy. Kind of put a damper on my whole day. But it's almost 5 o'clock now. I'm going to make this video. Then I'm going to go watch the Sixers, which has already started, but I'm recording. But I wanted to get this video out, and I wanted to talk about what I think the Eagles should do about this Jason Peters, Jordan Hicks situation. With the trade deadline coming up on the 29th, I believe that it's time to try to make a trade. Now, today they signed Taylor Hart, a converted offensive lineman who was a defensive lineman, who was, in my opinion, very unimpressive during preseason. He basically doesn't solve the situation. He's just another body to put on the roster for depth. That's it. Now, I want to say this. Jason Peters, I hope you recover well. I hope you heal well. I have nothing but respect. I love you. I love the way you played. You're one of the greats, Hall of Famer. And to me, my favorite moment for you is when Foles took a shot against the Redskins. A late hit, in my opinion. And as he took the shot, the other Eagle players were looking around, standing around, but not you. You got up and you went after the Redskins and you stuck up for your quarterback, and I gained nothing but respect for you from that day forward. Not that I didn't before, but to me, solidified it. That day, you became the man, in my opinion. And I have nothing but respect for you, and I hope you recover. I hope you come back and go out on your terms. Now, during the off season, I talked a lot about Jason Peters and a lot about being 35 years old. Most of the time, guys that position, that age, do not make it through the entire year. We talked a lot about this. I took a lot of slack for this because people thought I was taking a shot at Jason Peters, but I wasn't. I was just looking at his age, his cap number, and that kind of thing. The last guy his age or older to finish a whole season is Lomas Brown, and that was like 10 years or longer since this has happened. So it's not a surprise that he would get hurt. It really isn't, okay? So I see only 2 options for this. Go out and try to get Joe Staley from the Niners. I don't know of any other tackles who are out there that the Eagles could acquire. I mean, if there's somebody else, then definitely get them, but I don't know who they are. Okay, I don't want a guy who has not played for a year, who has been sitting out for 8 weeks. I don't want that. I want a guy who's been active, and I want to stick him in left tackle right away. Staley is the only guy that reasonably can fill this role. Now, I know Shanahan said that they would have to get a lot for him, but I just think that's positioning themselves in case they do trade him. So I'm not really too worried about that. But if I'm the Eagles, I have to try to make I have to try to get him. I have to. You're in a position where you could go to the Super Bowl. This team could go to the Super Bowl. Why? Because you're 6-1. The NFC isn't that great. And you have a quarterback who is special, who is going to probably be an elite top 2 quarterback in the league for the next 10 years. That's what I believe. That's how good I believe this kid is. And with a kid that good, anything is possible. The sky is the limit. You can take more chances on things. So if you want to invest and go and get Staley, I get it. Now, I'm not giving a first-round pick because I have no second or third. I'm not giving a future first, and I'm probably not giving a future second. But everything else, we can negotiate. And I would try to get Staley. Okay? Now, if I can't get Joe Staley, if I can't get him, then I have, in my opinion, and what I would do is one thing. Now, a lot of people may not agree with this, may not think this is the right move, but to me, I believe it is. And I'll tell you what, I'll put this out for a night. You agree, you would disagree, tomorrow, come here. We'll do a live stream. You tell me why you think I'm right, why you think I'm wrong, and we'll discuss it. Okay? I think that's fair. But what I would do is I would get Lane Johnson and I would move him over to left tackle. And I would do it now. I would do it this week. I would give him all the reps at left tackle. You may be saying, remember when he filled in for Peters earlier in the season and he got killed and he was horrendous? I do remember that. But remember this, that was like last second. He had no idea he wasn't ready to play left tackle. He was warming up. Peters couldn't go. He got in. He had no reps. He had no practice. He had nothing. Of course, he was going to get killed. But now you can start giving him all the reps, all the practice reps. Get him ready. Put him at left tackle because he's going to stay there for the next 8 to 10 years. That's why they re-signed him a few years ago and gave him the big money. Because they said, this is the Eagles' own words, he's the future left tackle. Well, the future is now. Now's the time you put him there. If you can't get Staley, you put Lane at left tackle. Why? You're playing the 49ers this week. You can get by the 49ers this week with him at left tackle. And remember, you have Carson Wentz as your quarterback. If you had Foles, if you had Bradford, if you had any of the other quarterbacks that we've had over the last 5-6 years, I don't think you can do this. It'd be too risky. But because Carson Wentz is Carson Wentz, and he can get out of situations, and he's so smart, and he's so good, I think that he, combined with Lane's ability to actually get reps and practice now, I believe will be enough to get through this situation. So you put Lane Johnson in against the 49ers. He should do okay. Maybe he struggles, fine. But they're not a good enough team to beat us even still if Lane's at left tackle. Even if he struggles, we're still going to win that game. Then you go up against Denver, which will be a big test. But you let him play. You let him get through it. Then you're on a bye week. You have a whole week, okay, off. You get him ready during that bye week. And by the time he plays Dallas, by the time Lane Johnson is playing Dallas, we all should see Lane Johnson start to play well, start to get used to it, start to be okay. And as we get later in the season and as we get to the playoffs, Lane will be fine. And in my opinion, like I've said before, once Lane Johnson adjusts to left tackle, he will be a top 3 left tackle for the next 10 years. And I believe that. So the time to do that is now, especially if you can't bring in Joe Staley. That's the answer, in my opinion, at left tackle. Because the left tackle position is the most important spot on that line. It's Carson Wentz's blind spot. You have to protect it. Lane Johnson is your best offensive lineman. Get him over there. That's why you're paying him. That's what your plan for him all along was. Let's not waste any more time. Now at right tackle, you'll have Big V. He'll have to get through it. He's going to have to struggle, all that kind of stuff. But I'd rather him struggle at right tackle than at left tackle, where Carson doesn't see a shot coming. You understand? And that's how I would handle the offensive line position going forward. I would try to trade, and if I can't, I would move Lane Johnson over to left tackle. As far as the linebacker situation goes, I don't know what you're going to do. I don't know who's available on there, at a linebacker. This time of year, there's not many people available. It's a shame Navarro Bowman didn't get cut now because we could have made a run for him. But that said, we got to get Kendricks healthy, and Kendricks is going to have to just play well. And him and Najee Good was horrible, by the way. But him and then Bradham, they're going to have to step up. Somebody's going to have to step up, because I don't know who you can trade for. But obviously, I would call every team and see what I can do. Always try to make a move. I wouldn't move anybody out of position on the Eagles team on defense. I wouldn't do that. I would go with what I have, or I'd make a trade. And that's kind of how I would handle this situation. It's a tough spot, and it's a really big blow, I know. But the saving grace of the whole thing is that you have the quarterback. And for those who think that the Eagles are going to lose now because they lost Peters and Hicks, I'm here to tell you that it's not going to change the wins. We're going to keep winning. As long as you have this kid as your quarterback, you're going to keep winning. So we're going to be okay. We're going to push forward. But I think with the stretch of the next 3 games, if you can't make a trade, this is a good time to send Lane Johnson to that left tackle spot. And that's how I kind of would handle it. So I'd like to hear what you guys think. We'll do a live stream for an hour tomorrow before the Thursday night game, and you tell me. With that said, take care. Talk to you later, and don't be a dingbat.